Hello lads and ladies, and welcome to this, and welcome back for another video on the channel. Now today, it is that time of year again. It is my League 1 to 24 predictions. We are predicting every team and where they will finish. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate in this video of where I put your team, but I've just tried to be as fair as possible. I've looked at all the transfers, all the outgoings, the business, the mood around the clubs as well, and tried to give a positive perspective of each club. Let me know how you think your team will do this year. I'm very interested to know. Let's get on with the video, but if you're new to the channel, please remember to like and subscribe. Lots of League 1 content coming this year. We're on the road to 7,000 subscribers. At 24th, a team does have to come last, and unfortunately I've gone for Cambridge. They have lost Paul Mullen, 31 goals last term. They have kept Joe Ironside, who scored 14 last term. Signed Shiloh Tracy on a permanent deal, that young flair player from Tottenham. Lloyd Jones has also joined the club, the former Liverpool man. I just don't feel they'll have enough next season to stay up. Again, there's still a lot of time left in the window, but for me, I think there's teams that have strengthened better around them, and I just don't think they'll be able to stay up next season. 23rd, I've gone for Cheltenham. Now, it's the same story as Cambridge. They came up last year and did a really good job. Duff is a very, very good manager. Young has got them playing. We saw them last year. Didn't score many goals, but were very sound at the back. Again, their top goal scorers on 9 goals in May. Again, they've got Matty Blair, experience at this level before. They've only brought a couple of players in. Evans, a goalkeeper that they've had before. Elliot Bonds as well, a young midfielder. So again, they've just not strengthened enough. I don't feel that they'll have enough goals in them. And other sides that are put above them have signed better and have brought better quality in. And unfortunately, I think Cheltenham's League 1 year will end after just one season. 22nd, now I've gone for AFC Wimbledon. They are the Burnley of League 1. They never go down. I do tip them to go down every year. But they lost Joe Pigott, who scored 20 goals a season. And when you're losing that influential player, you are going to struggle. And for me, they have signed quite well this year. Aaron Presley on loan from Brentford. They brought Luke McCormick in. So they haven't done too bad in the window. Again, young manager in Robinson. So I just don't feel that they'll have enough. I think the teams that were just above them in the table last year have strengthened and have kicked on. So for me, I do think AFC Wimbledon will struggle this year. Don't think they'll score enough goals. I think they might be okay defensively. I don't think they'll concede that many, but they just don't really have many match winners in that squad. And for me, I think they're going to go down next season. 21st, unfortunately for them, I've gone for Morecambe. Now, Morecambe, it wasn't a fairy tale last term. It was built on determination, hard work, graft, a squad coming together, and they've got some very good players. They've kept Lavelle, they've kept Leathering, they've kept Stockton, which probably is their best business all year, but they've also brought some good players in, Josh McPake, Callum Jones, Obika, but he's injured for 5 months, just their luck. Again, Wes McDonald. So again, very good business. I like it a lot. Stephen Robinson again did a very good job at Motherwell and did okay in his time at Oldham Athletic. I just don't think they'll have enough to stay up next year. I think it's too much to ask for just yet, but I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if they did stay up. In 20th, I've gone for my team, Fleetwood Town. I believe we'll just, and I mean just, avoid the drop next term. Simon Grayson is a very steady pair of hands in League 1. Yes, I know his last few clubs haven't worked out, but you look at Sunderland and Bradford at that time were basket case clubs. Blackpool, again, high expectations. Yes, he did really struggle there. But Fleetwood, we're in an embargo. We can't really ask for much better. Steady pair of hands, experience. He'll keep us up. Brad Halliday, Callum Morton, decent signings. Max Clark coming on as well. I believe Fleetwood will just have enough to stay up next term. It won't be pretty, but they'll get the job done. 19th, and I'm going for a little bit of second season syndrome, but not too much. I've gone for Crewe Alexandra. Now again, they're the team that I'm seeing in a lot of teams bottom 4, but I think that's unjustified. They've got a very good manager who's been there a while. What he's done at that football club is unbelievable. Again, they've signed some good players, Kane Ramsey, Chris Long, Hoban as well. I like that. Finney signed a new deal. They've still got Dale, so they've still got a good foundation. Mikael Mandon, who was one of their top goal scorers last year. So they have lost a few players, but they've still got a very good core. They've got the home fans back, which is a huge difference, and I believe they'll just stay up next season. 18th, now I think this team will be very unhappy where I'm putting them, but I think it's a tough league next year and they would take it overall. I've gone for Plymouth Argyle now. Ryan Lowe's a fantastic manager. They've signed some good players this term, Ryan Broom being one of them, but they've also signed some very good defenders as well. You know, Macaulay Gillespie, James Wilson, James Bolton, and they were the second most goals conceded last year. So, they conceded 5 to Fleetwood, 5 to Rochdale. So, they were leaking goals at one time, but again, I think they'll shore that up this year. Good manager, they've got a good team overall, and if they can get scoring, if they get Jeff Gott scoring like he was in the first half of last year, they'll be more than fine. 17th, I've gone for Accrington Stanley. Now again, I put them 21st last year and they overachieved again. This year, I'm not being tricked into that. They'll stay up. They are literally the Burnley of League One in the north. Again, a great manager in John Coleman. He is their best asset. Again, keeping him again for another year is the best activity they could do this year. They brought some good players in. Mungano on loan. They've got Harry Pell. So again, it's been a decent window. They've improved in key areas, the central defence role. They've got some good midfielders in, and again they've kept their core to their squad. They've got Trafford in on loan as a goalkeeper, so I like the business. It's a huge turnover every year for Accrington Stanley, but again, great little ground, great little club. They'll be more than fine and they'll stay up this year. 16th and the highest team out of all the promoted teams last year, I've gone for Bolton. Now, again, Ian Evatt, 3 seasons in management. Again, first season, mid-table with Barrow, was expected to go down that year. Then promotion with Barrow, then promotion with Bolton to League One. An unbelievable start to his career in the game, but again they've signed very well this year. Bakayoko coming in, 20 goals, Bakayoko, as the Coventry faithful used to sing. Dixon, a very good goalkeeper as well. Sheehan, I just like the business overall. They've kept the core, very good team, good spirit. Sarcevic in there, Fleetwood Town hero. They'll be more than fine, and it wouldn't surprise me if they finish 4 or 5 places up where I placed them. 15th, now I've gone for Gillingham. Now Gillingham again, they're always that team that finish mid-table but one win away from the playoffs and they just always drop points. But again, they are in an embargo like Fleetwood, but again, the business has been okay coming in. They've brought in Ollie Lee, Danny Lloyd, Aaron Chapman. But I think the more you have to focus on with Gillingham, who they've retained. Oliver, Kyle Dempsey are all top League One players, and I mean top League One players. And while they have Steve Evans at the football club, they'll be more than fine. And again, great squad, great belief. And again, Gills will float anywhere from about 9th to 16th next season. They'll be okay. Good team, great fan base, and I wish them all the best of luck. 14th, now they have crept up in my predictions, I must admit. I've gone for Doncaster Rovers. Now, they brought some decent players in. Geordie Hawula, Knight Noyle, Smith again on loan. Wellens is their manager. Now, again, he won promotion with a very good Swindon team when he had Jerry Yates and Ian Doyle up front. But then kind of staggered at Salford, kind of won 1, drew 1, lost 1. Huge expectations at Salford City. I do believe it's going to be a rebuilding process. I think Doncaster Rovers did so well last year. They lost Whiteman in January, lost the manager, then fell. I think 14th is an okay season for Doncaster. I think a lot of the fans will be disappointed. I know a couple have been talking about the playoffs, but for me, I think it'll be a solid mid-table job. 13th, I've gone for Burton. Now, in the first half of last year, I think they're averaging about 0.7 points per game. In the second half of the season, they're averaging about 2.1. An unbelievable turnaround since Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank came and Dino came in. A huge, good double out there. 2 very experienced heads. They brought some very good players in, Malt, but again, injured. Amari Patrick, very good player. Fast, can take players on, which you need. But then they've got the experience, Bryn Morris, very good player as well. Tom O'Connor, young lad, coming in as well. Very, very good team. I like it a lot. Ellery Bellicum, like I've just mentioned, good goalkeeper, did very well for Doncaster last year, saved a penalty on his debut. I think they'll be more than fine in mid-table this year for the Brewers. 12th, I've gone for Shrewsbury Town. Now again, Cottrell, I love. Again, struggled with COVID last year. But again, very good manager, and his team are going to fight for him. Aaron Wilbraham, again, an experienced coach. So I think he'll be a huge part of them next year. David Davis has signed. Elliot Bennett, good experienced head in the Championship with Blackburn. Ryan Bowman, a very good striker. And they've kept a lot of their better players from last year. So I think Shrewsbury will be more than fine. I think it'll be 12th looking up rather than looking down. 11th, I've gone for MK Dons. Now again, I like this MK Dons team, but I didn't believe the hype as much as other people. I felt their best chances against Fleetwood last year was when they launched it over the top. A lot of the passes were in their own half, but again, it was a process, and Russell Martin has today left for Swansea City, and it all depends on who comes in to see how they do this year. But they replaced the losses quite well. They lost Jerome, they brought Max Waters in. They lost Fraser, they brought Scott Twine in. They have lost, Keogh, but they lost him in January to go to Huddersfield at the time. He's now at Blackpool. And I believe MK Dons will be fine. They've got a very good team. Ethan Robson signed on loan. They'll be more fine. A bit like Shrewsbury, it'll be an 11th looking up. 10th, I've gone for Lincoln City. Now, again, you have to look at the players that they lost. Morgan Rogers, Grant has gone as well, Brennan Johnson, but they've replaced quite well, which I've been impressed. Dan El Dudu, Chris Maguire, Hakeem Adelican, very, very good smart signings. Michael Appleton, again, retains at the football club. So there's a lot of positive for the Imps. They did very well last year, possibly overachieved, but again, they've kept that spine to their team, and which I like. Palmer left, he replaced with a good goalkeeper as well. I think they'll be more than fine. Again, 10th. Could they gate crash the playoffs? I'm not quite sure. They have weakened, in my opinion, but not too much. At 9th, I've gone for Portsmouth. Now, I believe Portsmouth's squad is the weakest it's been in years. I really do. When you look at the squad that they first had when they came into the league and they built over time, they've lost, Gareth Evans, Jamel Lowe. What more now? Naylor. They've all started to leave the football club, and I just believe that it's the start of a new era, and I think it's going to be a rebuilding job. I knew better to do it with a good manager in Danny Cowley. I don't think Jackett was good enough or passionate enough for Portsmouth. Gaston Ademi is a good signing. So's Kieran Freeman. I like what they've done. I think they'll be there or thereabouts in their playoffs, but they only put 3 or 4 players on the bench yesterday. It was mainly trialists, but I believe Portsmouth will miss out again on the playoffs this year. I think they have to go up though this season. 8th, now I've gone for Wigan Athletic. Again, they signed very well this year. Liam Richardson did a very good job last term. It just seems they've signed a lot of the stars of the league, and sometimes that doesn't always work. Max Power, he's been there before, experienced League One player. I think hated a little bit by the Sunderland fans. I think he always put in a shift which he needed in League One. Watmore's a very good signing. Naylor, who's worked with before as assistant manager at Portsmouth. Humphreys is a very good signing. And they signed 31-goal Charlie White, but he's one of those that you need to put it on a plate for him. I think if he gets the service, they'll be in the playoffs, but he doesn't, I think they'll miss out like I put them to. 7th, I've gone for Oxford United. I put them 8th last year. They finished 6th on the last day. I believe Oxford will just miss out again this year. They did get into the playoffs last season and did lose to Blackpool over 2 legs. They have signed very well. Jordan Thornley, Williams, Billy Bowden. And I really like that. Carl Robinson is attacking manager. He gets these sides playing the right way. They've still got Taylor up front who will score goals, but defensively I think they're going to leak goals. They've lost Rob Atkinson, which is a huge blow, but they always start off very slow and then come good. I think that starting slow, if they do that this season, will cost them, and I believe it'll cost Oxford a place in the League One playoffs this season. 6th, I've gone for Charlton Athletic, and I've just wrote Nigel Atkins positive. He's the type of manager you want to play for. positive approach. If they lose a couple of games, he'd be like, that's fine, we'll go again. And you believe in him. You know, you want to play for him. You know, Femowo was a very good signing. You know, Craig McGilvery won Portsmouth Player of the Year last year. You know, very good League One goalkeeper. Jayden Stockley was outstanding when he came in on loan last year. George Dobson's a tied League One signing. I'd say they've probably done one of the best top three in the terms of transfer business in this league. They've just not done enough of it, but they've still got a few loans to use, which I think they'll use. But again, good transfer business from the Addicts, and they'll be in the playoffs. 5th. Now, a lot of people are going to be surprised. I put Rotherham United in it. Now, Paul Warne is a very good manager, and he's kept his squad. He's only brought in, I think, Shane MacDonald so far, but he's kept that spine of that team, you know. Lepardo being up front. They have lost Lewis Wing, who was on loan, but again, they have kept a good spine. They've kept the better players at the football club, and they've still got loans to use. They've still got a budget to use, and they were unjustified to come down last year. They came down last minute, you know, conceding to Cardiff. I think they'll get into the playoffs. They're the playoff kings, and I think they've won the playoffs every time there's been a World Cup on in the last few years. So, unbelievable business, and I think they'll be fine. They'll get into the playoffs, and I just think it's going to be a patient building job. I think they'll get better as the season goes on. 4th, we've gone for Wednesday. Peacock Farrell has signed. Again, Lewis Wing, outstanding for Rotherham last year. You know, they've kept Patterson. They've got Shapudo. Very good. Barry Bannon, unbelievable player. Iorfa at the back. Very good team when you look at it overall. I do think they need a few more goals, but again, a great squad. They'll add to it. Good manager in Darren Moore. You know, they've got the fans hopefully back on side, coming to ground. They've lowered the ticket prices. And I think if Wednesday can get on a roll, I think that will help them. They just need to get up and running. I don't care how they play. If they keep winning, they'll be more than fine. 3rd, we've gone for Sunderland. Now, it seems crazy to leave Sunderland out, but at this time, it doesn't look likely in a lot of people's predictions. But they have signed some decent players. You know, Corey Evans, you know, Doyle at the back's a very good partnership. You know, Alex Pritchard, they've kept Aidan McGeady. I do believe they need a couple more. They have lost some big earners at that football club. When you look at it, Powers left the football club, you know, Wyke as well. So they have got some money to reinvest. A couple of loans to use. You know, they've lost Sanderson when I believe their biggest loss last year was when they lost him to injury. I would have believed if they kept him fit, Sunderland would be a championship club right now. Next year, I think it's going to be playoffs. Could it be playoff heartbreak for the 4th season in a row for Sunderland? My top 2. Wycombe Wanderers are going up this year automatically. Wycombe, again, they had a great season when they won promotion. They did finish 8th on points per game, but over the 34 games, they did deserve it. And when you look at the players they brought in, Sully Kai, Sam Vokes didn't do too well at Stoke, but again, he's good for flick-ons, you know, can hold the ball up, can get in behind, can, you know, really, you know, use what Wycombe do well, and he's, you know, direct balls. You know, they've kept the likes of Joe Jacobson, Stockdale, Akinfenwa. They have lost Onyedimia, but that was always going to happen. They've got a great team. I love Gareth Ainsworth as well. I think he's a top bloke. I think he's their best and biggest asset, and why they keep him. Wycombe Wanderers will always be okay, and they'll always have a go. Ipswich, top of the league, 100 points, 100 goals. Do I need to say more? No, I think Ipswich, I think when you look at their squad on paper, I think when you look at Bristol City's squad, I think it was in 14-15, it's on a par with that. It's unbelievable, their squad. Vladclaff, Hilaki in goal, you know, Fraser, Piggott, Macaulay Barn, Wes Burns, you know, Lee Evans. The business has been superb, and it's far from done. They need a couple of defenders, I believe that, to strengthen, but Paul Cook as manager, they've got the experience, they've got the flair, they've got the goals, they've got the pace. They just need a couple of defenders now, and I think a couple will come. You know, they've just signed Connor Chaplin. It's unbelievable the business they've done. Ipswich Town are winning League One this season, in my opinion. Thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope you did enjoy it. Please remember to like and subscribe. Don't be too annoyed where I put your team. They're just my predictions. They won't come true. I'll probably be wrong, horribly wrong on all of them. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Until next time, guys, I will see you later. Please remember to like and subscribe. Plenty more League One content coming. Until next time, I will see you later.